Holla ballers and a brofist to you all, for it is once again Friday. It has rolled upon us once more after the worst, best web show we ever did. Can I hear myself? No. I don't make that mistake anymore. No, I can't. Excellent. After the worst, best web show of all time, and a stream week which was mired with disaster and hospital visits and all that kind of good squishy that we come to know and love from the show, I can't wait to do it live. Can't wait to do it all live. It's bound to be so smooth, creamy smooth. I'll tell you what's not smooth. Today, on stream week, we celebrated. We celebrated. Why? This arrived. This glorious piece of equipment arrived here. And over the past few days, we had many deliveries, now totaling some 25 to 30 games to go with this. This is the first of 3 of these that are coming in order for us to have generally a big nerd fiesta at PreachCon. What also came with it, when I thought, you know what, I've got 20 minutes, I'll just stick it into the TV, you know, make sure it's working for science. Anyone see a problem with that? Can any of you read that? Can any of you fucking read what it says on that? Mother of fucking God. Mother of fucking God. I cannot even. I can't even. I can't fucking even. I literally can't. This doesn't work. See the problem? You see the problem, bro? With what you fucking sent me here? Do you see the... This doesn't work. Does it? This just doesn't work. You piece of shit. You fucking piece of shit. I can't fucking believe it. We've got all the games. We've got games for days. I've got Star Fox 64 sat over there. I've not played it in forever. We've got wrestling games coming out my ass. And you sent me a GameCube Power Pack, bro? Bro, what are you doing with your life where you don't know an N64 Power Pack, man? But to be fair, I contacted the guy immediately. There was no delay. I was on the email. I was like, bro, dude, no, don't do this to me, man. And he was like, oh, I'm really sorry. It's already in the post. I first classed it out to you. You should have the other one. You should have the real one by tomorrow. And he also threw in the very bro comment of, keep the GameCube one. I don't want it back. I was like, oh, you, my man, you, what a guy. It was the power of eBay, actually. It could have gone much worse. It was the power of eBay. The power of eBay could have compelled us, but the power of eBay actually came through. Do we have Donkey Kong 64? No, we have all kinds of stuff. Like, I can't even go through them all. There's so many games that have arrived. And they're not even all of them. All the real mega games are coming soon. So, yeah, it's pretty good. So we ordered, like, 3 Nintendo 64 game bundles. So I think I have, like, 3 copies of ISS 64 Soccer. Called International Superstar Soccer, by the way. And some games of Madden and all that. Yeah, I can't do anything about this. It's like 28 degrees in the UK right now. The sun is burning hot. And that's about as much as I can reduce it. So, we should be fine. We should be fine. As long as we got the wrestling games and we've got Bomberman 64. Because I can't wait to trash so many of you at Bomberman 64. While drunk. Because I'll do that. Or take it to the wrestling. We're going to do all that kind of stuff. So that's all good. We should be fine. We should be absolutely fine. But I'm surrounded right now by televisions and just crates of stuff. Costumes have arrived. All kinds of stuff. It's been one of those weeks. And next week should be even worse. So it's all going to be good fun for me. However, the beta has started. We have beta. We tried beta out today. We did the opening Sure event, which was alright, I suppose. A bit long. But other than that, beta is underway. And hopefully many of you can we see in the chat who got a beta invite, who wasn't in alpha. That's the important thing. If you weren't in alpha, how many of you got a beta? So many of you, I hope. I know a lot of people didn't. Everybody's waiting for one, right? But yeah, most of you, a lot of people got one. A lot of people got one, which is very cool. But that's not why you're here right now, my ladies and gentlemen. You're here right now to have some fun. We're going to have some fun. We're going to have a little bit of fun as we warm up on this fine Friday afternoon where I can't wait. I'm going to go have a beer tonight. I think a beer is in order after this week. Ladies and gentlemen, let us begin our drama. No one? Oh my God. Guys, you're making me so fucking sad. You're making me so fucking sad. So sad. The first quest I did bugged out. I had to restart. Beta be beta. Somebody did suggest, can you please do us a video of what we should be doing with beta? So I think I will do that because I think people are going to approach it as if they already have Legion. That is a mistake. Don't do that. Let's have some drama time. I have 3 stories in front of me, ladies and gentlemen. Now, As there are a couple of people who've got in contact with me from Patreon saying they don't remember if their names were in it or they don't think they've heard them, but they haven't watched them all. So we're compiling a list. That's going to take a little bit of time. But if you watch every Drama Time and you 100% know, you can let me know. But please be confident in that so we don't take spots away from other people. That's fine and dandy. So for today, we'll use the chat while we compile that list. I know there's not many. There's like maybe 6 names that we've missed. But we'll get that sorted. So let's talk about the worst thing about MMOs. Yeah? I just need a friend. I just need a friend. When I read the title of this story, I just knew it was going to be gold. We'll go with Liarhawk. Hey, Liarhawk. How's it going? It's only a very short story, this one. Don't worry, I've got plenty of names in the other 2 stories, which are much longer than this one. This is just one to warm us up, to wet our whistles for this Friday afternoon. Let's get started by talking about that loot system. Are you ready? That loot system, though. Greetings, Preacher, and all you guys watching at home. It's great. Your content is great, and I hope I can contribute. Let's see what you've got, then. My tale begins in late the Burning Crusade. Before the Sunwell, though, but after Zul'Aman. Bear runs, yeah? Bear runs. My guild, who I was healing and off-tanking on split runs after Warglaves and Bear Drama. We browsed forums, looked in trade chat, and eventually found myself a guild that cleared all of Black Temple and Hyjal and had no difficulty with Zul'Aman. I applied, was accepted. When I was accepted, they told me the loot rules. DKP based. They were very unclear about the specifics of the loot system. In general, they said, you gain DKP. What does DKP stand for? Chat. You gain DKP by attending, killing bosses, and helping out fellow guildmates. Oh dear. Oh dear. The last part I thought meant maybe farming some mats for flasks or buff food. 'Twas commonplace backing the Burning Crusade and previous that you would be giving DKP to people who did not have a place in the raid. Because remember, a lot of people came from 40-man raiding guilds. But they would be set challenges. What would the challenges be? Chat, what would the challenges in TBC be? To go and do during the raid so that you could earn some DKPs. Those would be things like farming food, fish, herbs for flasks, because we needed all the potions we could get. And, of course, primals. Primals, fire primals, all that kind of stuff, yeah? That's all the kind of stuff that you were given points for so you could get loot, even though you weren't in the raid to get any loot. That was the idea. Very cool. I was in what was a sprawling social guild. And the most weird thing was that there was the guild master, and then the next rank was called, like, upper tier officer. Then there was officer, and so on. There was only ever to be 5 upper tier officers. But no matter when you logged in, morning, noon, evening, middle of the night, there was always one of the upper tier officers online. They never spoke. They were all max level, and on our armory, they were fairly poorly geared. When you started a raid, a regular officer, not upper tier officer, not guildmaster, just a regular officer, or the GM would whisper you your DKP. There was no way to check to see how much it was before a raid or after. They had no online tracking system for the DKP. We raid, killed raid bosses, and got items. The upper tier officers never attended the raids, but one would always be online. One night, I was told I had 150 DKP after the Hyjal and ZA run of that night. The next run, I was whispered and told I had 0 DKP. I was shocked, stunned, agog. Because here is what happened between these raids. One thing I did do was refuse to help someone run Razor Fen Crowl. This is during TBC. I also wouldn't sell my primal heirs for 1/5 the auction house price that a guildie had offered me. I had also participated in a relatively friendly discussion on racism and religion in guild chat one lazy Sunday afternoon. Those are the 3 events that our author took part in. A good friend of mine, Leahawk, did the same thing as me. He was docked into negative DKP. He was told that the only way to gain back into normal or 0 DKP, to which he was no longer Leahawk, allowed to raid until you had at least 0 DKP, was to donate gold to the guild bank or primals to the guild master, or, Leahawk, you can attend alt raids on your hugely overgeared main tank while getting no loot. That is how you must atone for your sins, Leahawk! You scum! You fucking scum! Leahawk went berserk. He accused the GM of unbelievable corruption, collusion, nepotism, and one of the upper tier officers finally spoke in guild chat. Stop. And that was it. This was the first time we had ever seen an upper tier officer speak. And all he had to say was stop. Leahawk was our main tank. He did not stop. He was still on a tirade. He started calling out the upper tier guild officers. He called them the Gestapo. Gestapo, my friends. And asking when he would get hauled off to a camp. The GM came on soon enough and kicked Leahawk. He mentioned that anyone who supported Leahawk would either be kicked or would be docked into negative DKP. Later, me and this main tank and others tried to figure out how DKP worked in this guild by working out how much we had been given and how much we had taken away. This, my friends, is the DKP system that they had. You would gain 20 DKP for turning up to the boss or the raid. You would gain 50 DKP for killing a boss. You would gain 5 DKP for being buff ready before the ready check on every boss. Flask, food, and potions, etc. 5 DKP per boss. You would be given a number between 20 to 60 DKP for helping out guildies in chat and selling your materials at a loss to guildies. You would be docked anywhere from 10 as the minimum to negative 100 DKP for taking part in any discussion that may cause drama, even if it doesn't. That's the system. All this apparently was being recorded by the upper tier officers as to why they were always on. There were also so many other miniature rules that we couldn't quite work out. When Leahawk left, I took a long break and did my own things for the rest of TBC. I came back in wrath and did some stupid shit. You can hear about that if you want. But I hope you enjoyed learning of one of the worst loot systems I have ever seen in my entire life. From Buffalo, Team Singapore. You're not in? 100 DKP? Man, it's 100 DKP for me every single time. But I would gain it all back, you see, because I'm always flask ready. That's right. I'm a mummy's boy. I'm always flask ready. You guys are all noobs, man. You guys have no DKPs. I take all your DKPs. Right, let's get some people in here. I want to hear the story. It's not on this one. You're going to read it. Okay, are you ready to be terrified? Are you ready to be terrified? Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to type it. the worst thing you might ever see in your life. Oh, dear. Oh, shit. Oh, my God. All right, then. Okay. We need a resto shaman who will be Joa. Joa the resto shaman. We need a hunter, which will be Willie. Willie Bombastic. I'm going to go with Willie. Willie. We need a GM who's the rogue. Who's going to be the rogue? You know it doesn't work out well for you. Dart Bro. Dart Bro's in. We need a Blood DK. Garuan. That can't be more deliveries. That'd be insane. We need a Resto Druid. Methuselah. Close enough. And we need a very good Feral Druid. Who will be... This is the last person. Remnant. Remnant. Excellent. Okay, we got all them in. Right. Okay. Okay. I'm going to try and keep up with this one. This is not going to be that easy. But we'll get there, I'm sure. All right, then. God, this is going to be so hard for me to remember. A brofist from California in the sunny, sunny side. As many say before they begin their stories, I'd like to thank you for the hours of entertainment you've provided me over the past couple of years, and hopefully I can reciprocate a little bit with this story. I hope you all enjoy. Today, for you ladies and gentlemen, I have a tale of some of my woes, which takes place in possibly the worst time in World of Warcraft, aside from Worlds of Draenor. Name it. Name it. Name it. It was, of course, Cataclysm during the Dragon Soul. I'd been taking a break from raiding at the time and had been spending most of my time PvPing me with my friend Willie. Oh, Willie. Willie, the big PvP though. Yeah, mate. Willie loves it. Fucking smashing faces. With my good friend Willie. One day after school, another buddy of ours, Joa, had asked us if we wanted to join a 10-man raiding guild. We knew Joa was shit at WoW. And video games in general. But he said we could join as the classes we wanted to play. And since we had been out of the raiding scene for a while, we thought, sure, what's the worst that could happen? I know you're shit at the game, Joa. Joa, you're bad. But considering I can play whatever I want, Joa, I'm joining you. Alright? Joa. Joa! We know you're bad. At all video games, there's nothing you're good at. You sad, Joa? You sad? Don't be sad, though. Don't be sad. They were a new guild. Yeah? Brand new guild. For fuck's sake. They were a new guild. Around level 10. Do you remember guild levels? Yeah, man. And we were missing a range, deeps, and a healer. Since I had had the foresight to avoid having overlapping gear proficiencies with my IRL friends, seeing as Willie joined as a hunter and Joa was a resto shaman, I decided I would be a warlock. They had us do a trial run, and it went reasonably well. Since it was a fresh guild, we only made it through Ultraxian normal. But much to my amazement, Cunning of the Cruel, the Shadow Bolt volley trinket dropped. I didn't expect them to give it to me since I was a trial and I was competing against a fire mage who also happened to be the GM, Dartbro's wife. I thought this until I saw the text saying, I had received the trinket appear in my chat box. Immediately following this, Dartbro, the rogue guild master, who in hindsight probably just made this guild to get the legendaries, very seriously said, listen to me. We decided to give you the trinket. You need it more than her, but don't you fucking forget this moment. I am investing into our guild's future. Do you understand? Dart, bro. Dude. dude. Take it down a step, yeah? Take it down a step. I'm just saying. I'm just saying, dude. You denied your wife for this guy. You denied your wife. Just saying, man. I politely thanked them for their decision and promised them that I would make good use out of this trinket. To this day forward, I swear this trinket will allow us to do great things. The following week, I was asked to change to my Holy Paladin. The Holy Paladin who had raided with us the previous week just didn't show up anymore. And despite getting the Cunning of the Cruel the previous week, I was asked to go on my Holy Paladin. I had originally wanted to join as a Holy Paladin since it was going back to my roots as to what I played from vanilla through to the Lich King. Dark Bro accepted my offer, and my ranged DPS spot was filled by yet another Fire Mage. We progressed badly. And after weeks and weeks, we managed to down Spine Normal. And thus followed Madness Normal as well. We were about to step foot, ladies and gentlemen, into Dragon Soul Heroic. Dark Bro decided there were problems within this guild, and Dark Bro takes his raiding very fucking seriously, you fuckers. Do you understand? Do you understand? The warrior off tank was to be replaced with Dark Bro's real life friend, Tesla. A frankly retarded blood DK. And then the Disc Priest was also to be replaced by Dark Bro's IRL girl friend, not girlfriend, a tree named Methuselah. Not only that, but Dark Bro replaced his fucking low DPS wife. Her DPS was bad, but to see his wife removed from the raid team to make room for an elemental shaman was particularly dark. Of course, the part of the raid group that didn't consist of his IRL friends had issues with him putting us back in progress because he wanted his IRL friends in the raid. The responses he would give us would go like this. Listen up, you fucks! This will be better in the long run. Trust me, I fucking know these guys well. And when they get gear, we will start smashing heroic bosses into the ground. The next few weeks, we farmed normal Dragon Soul. Over and over again. My friends and I would always complain about farming this terrible raid. We were about to lose our mind. When finally it was decided that we would start progress on Heroic Morchok. Now there's two of them. How do we do it? How do we do it? Someone press feint. Or so we thought. The raid was set. The schedule was in place. We logged in to start raiding at the normal time. We were about to start summons. We were all stood at the Dragon Soul when Dark Bro's voice came through vent. It was a message no raider ever wants to hear at raid time. Can you name it? Everyone, put on your PvP gear. What? Joe said? Joe went, what? Dark Bro replied, we're gonna do an RBG. I want to check something. I didn't know what the fuck was going on. But I was just gonna humor him. I had never heard this kind of thing before. And I did still feel guilty about getting the Cunning of the Cruel day one and only to switch to another character. I don't have any PvP gear, I said. Do you want me to switch to a tune that's got some, I asked. No! It's fine. And now, something everyone in this wonderful channel has heard before. The famous words. We don't need PvP gear. We're a guild. We can easily win an RBG. Yeah. We spawned into Arathi Basin in all our PvE gear. The moment we came into contact with the other team, it was a fucking bloodbath. Our faces were in the mud. They beat us 5-0 Arathi Basin in a few minutes. There was silence in Vent. Joa finally broke the silence by saying, well, that was fucking awful. Can we go and raid now? But Dartbro answered, no! We're doing one more! Joa couldn't handle it. He fucking lost it. I joined this guild to raid, not to get my ass kicked in Arathi Basin. And who could argue? Apparently, Dartbro could. Dartbro could. I'm the guild master! He said in an authoritative tone. If you don't like it, you can leave. So Joa just went, fine, I'm going. And just like that, Joa was gone. Joa was out and logged off. Dartbro didn't even seem fazed. He didn't even seem to flicker. And he simply responded with, thought so. Boom. It turned out that Dartbro was convinced, utterly convinced, that if other raiders didn't want to help level the guild through doing RBGs, running dungeons, or by doing anything they could, then they did not deserve to be a member of our guild. The worst part was that Joa had even run a couple of dungeons with Dartbro and his friends to help level up the guild. While Big Willie, the other raiders, and I fucking hated those arseholes and didn't put any effort into the guild at all. After that, we called it for the night. And Dartbro decided to set, wait for it, decided to set an emergency raid. Emergency raid for tomorrow to make up for today's disaster. Since he could get yet another one of his IRL friends to be his replacement healer for Joa. At this point, oh my god, what did I just do? At this point, I totally scrolled. Oh no, I scrolled. I'm really sorry. Oh my god. At this point, half of the guild was in Dartbro's IRL posse. But it didn't stop there. The following night, I logged on to see not only the new healer, but that our feral main tank, Remnant, had been replaced by a warrior. I spoke up in Vent, where's Remnant tonight? And Dartbro responded like he always responded. He refused to officially join our guild, so he is no longer welcome amongst us. You see, friends, Remnant was one of the most experienced raiders on the server. He had been helping this sorry excuse of a raiding guild by tanking for us on his ult because his guild cleared everything in one night. He stayed, obviously, in his far more legitimate raiding guild, since not only did he want to keep us all at an arm's length, but frankly, our guild was full of bellends. But he did have mass res and summon, which we all used many, many times. Let's kick him, though. Let's kick him. Yeah, Remnant's kind of a big deal around the server. You might know him. We do utilize all of these fucking spells that he brings to the raid constantly. And I just don't understand why he doesn't want to join our shitty guild. Makes no sense. Yeah, another of Dartbro's buddies entered the guild. And now we were outnumbered, friends. Dartbro outnumbered us. After another week of farming normal, we finally entered the heroic Dragon Soul. Willie and I had already seen how shit most of his friends were in terms of skill. But heroic mode, my word. They couldn't follow the most basic of instructions consistently. Weeks followed, week after many more poor raiding decisions and strats chosen by Dartbro. He would often watch videos of people kill the boss and then decide he had a better strategy for each boss. Somehow we managed to clear through heroical traction. It was then that Dartbro said something really disturbing. Are you ready? Now we're going to start alt runs to level the guild and gear up alts so we can stack the raid. Willie piped up straight away. Yo, can I still bring my rogue though, right? I want to get the shards on my legendaries for my rogue. Yeah? Willie had mentioned it when we joined the guild that he wanted to be a rogue and that he really wanted to take him on alt raids if they ever came up. No! Said Dart Bro. Methuselah. That bitch. Methuselah already has that spot taken. There is no room for any more rogues. Typical. Despite being in the guild for over twice as long as Methuselah, and being promised that he would have the rogue spot in future alt raids, Big Willie got shafted because Methuselah was an IRL friend and a girl. Willie was pissed, but uncharacteristically, he restrained himself and just said, "Fine. Fine. I'll just use pugs to get the shards like I have been doing. So I won't be able to enter alt raids. Because my rogue is the only other max level character I have." Dartbro agreed. And thus we started to do alt raids, with me back on my lock. Of course, I said that I wouldn't always be able to attend alt raids as you just randomly added more raid days to the week. I said I was going to be busy, as in busy not playing WoW every night. Surprisingly, Dartbro accepted this. No questions asked. So the alt raids began. During the alt raids, gossip was the order of the day. Anybody who hadn't shown up to the alt raid was to be thrown under the bus. Firstly, of course, they started talking about Big Willie. They would always say that his deeps isn't where he should be, and they had seen logs of some people doing more DPS than him. Therefore, he lacked devotion to the guild, Willie. I have seen a log of a hunter doing more damage than you, Willie. Why are you so amateur? Why aren't you devoted to the guild as you should be, Willie? Explain yourself, Willie. Explain it to me. Yeah? Do it now. Fucking dickhead, Willie. Explain it. Loser. Fucking loser. Naturally, I would relay these comments to Willie. It made him hate the guild even more. We carried on raiding for the next weeks, but Willie and I were starting to get a little discouraged. Willie even more so because even more so than I, because somehow the bow from Madness of Deathwing hadn't dropped for him, and he was still using the LFR bow on Heroic Morchok, no less. The day came. Dartbro got his legendary daggers. Oh, yes. He instantly cancelled the raid so he could go and finish it. And then he said, "Now I'll be able to carry the raid." Boom. Boom. Now he's got his daggers. Don't even worry about it. He's going to carry the raid. He's got the daggers. He's got the daggers. He's going to carry the raid. It's a carry from this point on. Cancel the raid. I need to go get my legendaries, right? Yeah? Cancel the raid. You guys can all fuck off. He was going to carry the raid with his awesome DPS in the raids to follow. Shockingly, that's not even close to what happened. Even having the best weapons in the game, he still provided mediocre DPS at best. He had never been the top DPSer in our guild, and he still was very far from being the top DPS in our little 10-man. Dartbro then started to make the excuses. "These daggers aren't even that much of a DPS increase. I checked. For a legendary, they suck dick compared to Girthalak." Despite both Willie and I having less gear than our peers due to bad drops and rolls, the loot system was fair, we still topped the damage and healing meters respectively by a very large margin. And we both started to think it was about time for us to... we left the guild. It was about time we abandoned ship. We decided that we would stay for one more week. One more week. And even though we were still stuck on heroic Spine of Deathwing, never forget, we finished Spine and Madness on normal at the end of the week, and the bow dropped for Big Willie. Dark Bro congratulated him on the upgrade and said, I can't wait to see the numbers you put out with that next week. Willie never responded. Little did Dark Bro know that Willie wasn't going to return next week. He was not going to use his bow to help the guild. Big Willie already had a new guild. Just a little before raid time on the following week, Big Willie told me that he was on his way and that Dark Bro was about to get a slap. He had made many macros filled with walls of text which contained everything he hated about the GM, the guild. He whispered Dark Bro and said, get ready, motherfucker. He left the guild after spamming all the macros in guild chat over and over again. Again, there was no raiding to be done that night. I was now all alone in the guild, and while for some reason I gave them another week, I was done. Without a word to anyone in the guild, I faction name changed together with Willie and Joa, and we never heard from that guild again. For future reference, how long do you want these drama stories? No? That's fine. Big Willie smearing his dick across the guild. Little bit of dick cheese. Hasn't cleaned it for like 4 days, but had a wank every day. Smudged and besmirched the guild on his way out the door. Oh, does anybody remember that workshop we did on a guy who had the legendary daggers but couldn't play a rogue? Do you remember that? It was so eBay. It's so funny. But the guy tried to get better, which I thought was the best bit. That was a long time ago, but I remember that. I think that was the first time I ever said in a workshop that this couldn't be a bot because a bot would have played better. And it was true. It was totally true. Right, we're going to have... okay, I'm not going to spoil it, so I'm just going to put... yeah, what's it called? Yeah, the workshops are good, but not anymore. Okay. Okay, here we go. Yeah, cool. Right, we need a girly. Where's my girls at? Where you at, girls? The girls are only during the day. I've already used you, Methuselah. You're out. You're out. You're done. Pink. Pinkies. Right, we need another girl. Many girls in this one. Bubbles. Bubbles will do. We need oh god, a Finnish rogue. Where's Team Finland at? Variety. You'll do. Variety. Who else we got? We need a Dutch girl. Another girl. Starlight. That works. I know it's not necessarily. We need another girl from Team Norway. This is all girls, by the way. These are all the girls. Gazina. That could be a girl's name. And one last man. We'll have Jester. It's Jester Judas, but we'll go with Jester. Oh my god, another one with a massive amount of names. Right. Let me just refresh myself. So we've got Pinkies is that one. Bubbles. Variety. Starlight is a Dutch girl. Gazina is a Norwegian girl. And Jester. Okay. I'm sure I'll be fine. I'm a professional. I can do this. Right then. Summer 2015. Warlords of Draenor. Name that realm. Argent Dawn. Oh, yeah. Pimping it. I was looking for a guild. Some people to socialize with. Perhaps do some dungeons. Some raids, maybe. But really wanted to RP. So I committed blasphemy. And whispered somebody who was advertising their guild in that trade chat. Enter Pinkies. Hi, Pinkies. Pinkies told me that they were primarily a social guild, yeah? Not but fun coming out of this motherfucker. The guild motto was to just hang out and have fun. What can go wrong? They did some PvP, dungeons, and occasionally do a little bit of RP. I twitched my nose, Bewitched style, at the thought of the lack of RP. It's why I had come to this realm after all. But thought that we would do as a start to WoW RP. Entry level, bit of noobish RP before going mythic RP. I hadn't been in any other guild on Argent Dawn prior to this. It was better than nothing. So I joined. For a while, a couple of weeks, everything was squeaky clean, yeah? Nice clean butthole, bleached anus. They were a sociable, friendly bunch. I enjoyed talking to them. We had bants. We bantsed and laughed and did dungeons. Shortly after I joined, though, two friends also arrived together. They were Starlight and Gesina. They were Dutch and Norwegian girls. Now, Starlight and Gesina were heroic raiders. Starlight and Gesina were heroic raiders. Being a total noob that I was, they coached me. They took me through on how to tank high mall normal bosses. For despite having played World of Warcraft for around 11 years, Warlords of Draenor was the first time that I had ever gotten into raiding. Just like Nobble. Welcome, Nobblers. To this day, it still saddens me to the core that I had never experienced Karazhan, Ulduar, ICC, the Firelands while they were current content, even though I played World of Warcraft at the time. After a while... Oh, here's the trigger, though. Can we have legacy servers, please? Pretty please? Get triggered. Get triggered. After a while, though, I began to notice something. Variety, the guild master, who frequently said that he was from Team Finland, was beginning to get unusually close to Pinkies. He would flirt with her regularly in guild chat. When Starlight and Gesina joined, he did the same to them. However, he was rapidly cock-blocked by Starlight, who told him she only sucks the clit and wanted none of his seed. Variety quickly and hilariously ceased all pursuits of Starlight after this. Starlight quickly grew a hatred of this guy, and later told me that she had seen straight through him, though she masked it well while we were together in game. Me, Pinkies, he, Starlight and Gesina. Since it was the Argent Dawn server, there had to be /kiss and /hug as well. It was incredibly painful to watch him flirt. The flirting with Pinkies and Gesina persisted for a while. Both of them were happily reciprocating his frankly cringeworthy actions. I even typed out cringe in guild chat every time he said something. Chat. Please, be so kind as to demonstrate the power of the Twitch chat. A Lithuanian guy called Jester also joined the guild. A friend of Variety's. Jester was Team Goldshire. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Jester was Team Goldshire RP. He literally would log in and spend all day, along with Variety, talking in Goldshire trade chat. Jester didn't like me, but I tolerated him. And for the other members of the guild, they were still pleasant to chat with. I'm staying. McCream pie. McCream pie indeed. Now, we're about to get modern age in terms of the cringe. Prepare your cringes even more. It was eventually suggested by someone, I can't recall now who it was, that it was about time that we set up a WhatsApp guild group. Crispy. Crispy. WhatsApp? I had heard of it, sure, but I didn't have it. I warily went through the process of installing that WhatsApp, but was overjoyed to find that I could remain largely anonymous under the simple name of Matt. I joined the group that Gesina had set up, and group WhatsApp chat commenced. Yeah, why even go to the good book when you can just WhatsApp. It was here that I saw what many of my fellow guildies looked like for the first time, so I was majorly curious. Variety had dressed himself a bit like a gangster. Pinkies made me blink with a weird picture of a bear. Starlight was fairly normal. Oh, but Gazina was fappable. Fully fappable. I, being the stubborn bastard that I am, didn't put any picture up. I also added many of the guild members' phone numbers, and I decided that it was time, considering we had the closeness of a WhatsApp group, that I should give them my phone number. Yes. After all, we are WhatsApp friends. Let's share phone numbers, stranger, because we did all install an app together on our phones. That makes us pretty close. Practically family. Am I right? Good. Good. This turned out not to be a good idea. Bubbles also joined the group. Bubbles was a quiet player. She hadn't contributed much to the banter, right? Yeah? You're listening, Bubbles? You like bants. Bubbles is bantless. We had a couple of times talked to her, but nothing major. But then one day it happened. By the way, every time I say bants, it's legit written in the story. I shit you not. So Bubbles, bad bants. Yeah? Want to put that out there. But then one day it happened. I was in game, queuing for some dungeons, when Pinkies whispered me. She said that she was upset, and then I made the criminal mistake. What is that criminal mistake, chat? Girl whispers you, says, I'm upset. What's the criminal mistake? I said the unspoken thing. I broke the rule that should never be broken. And I replied with, why? Why though? Your chat is ridiculous, totally. She then started to pour out feelings all over me like a bukkake at a Taiwanese dance party. Variety, you filthy cunt, Variety, was forcing Pinkies to send him dirty pictures. Forcing her to send dirty pictures. And that Variety was making her feel extremely uncomfortable. I was skeptical. How is he forcing you to send pictures? She didn't reply. She was still willingly reciprocating his flirtatious attitude in the guild chat. So I questioned what the hell she was talking about. She then turned it all the way up to soppy bollocks. She said she was crying. Sentiment followed, and eventually I told her that I understood. Oh! And to whisper me if Variety ever asked her for dirty pictures again. She recruited you as her white knight. Congratulations, you done fucked up. You done fucked up. Oh, he's making me type out the message. Oh, wait. I proceeded to tell Starlight about it. And she told me that Variety was also trying to get into Gazina's pants, but she thought it was just bants. Yeah? Not but bants. Not but bants. Variety, of course, did do it again. And I found out. Gotta white knight it. Gotta white knight it. I went on a preemptive stealth opening into Vendetta and whispered him in-game asking what the fuck he thought he was doing with these creepy-ass messages. He was supposed to have a girlfriend, as he had referred to her many times, so why were you asking for dirty, filthy, yet gorgeous pictures of these women? Variety replied saying, it's just a bit of bants, mate. He said that his girlfriend knew all about it and she was fine with it, but if that it made me feel better, like a little pussy, he would stop. Yeah, just a bit of bants, mate. That's all it was. After that, things were always extremely tense between Variety and I, as well as Jester too. Things progressed further, and suddenly, Gazina became involved, saying that she thought I should just leave the guys alone. But I disagreed. I was a fully fledged white knight, and decided I could never let it drop ever. We got into more and more arguments. Ugly arguments. And I, standing up for Pinkies, left the guild. She didn't. But you did. I'm out! So I've got to stand up for my lady's rights. I'm going to leave the guild. But Pinkies didn't. A day prior to me, Starlight and Gazina had also left. Variety and Jester's involvement with all that drama stopped here. I still think of him as a complete and utter wanker, and I simply will not put up with more people asking girls for dirty pictures and forcing them to send them. Thank you to this moment. But back to the story, though. Pinkies, Starlight, Gazina, and I still kept in contact via Steam and Battle.net. I still talked to all three of them and frequently played Hearthstone with Pinkies until the drama continued. I had heard from Starlight that it turned out that Pinkies had a crush on Starlight and had told her of it. That's right. Lesbian Road begins now. Starlight had politely said that she would like to give it time. She was not... Yeah. Get ready to get ridiculous. You ready? Because Starlight was not yet ready for a full-fledged e-relationship after many failed ones. I don't think I can go through this e-romance again. I need some time. I need some time before I commit to another Skype call. We need some time. Pinkies made known her feelings to me about Starlight, and after a brief conversation, suddenly got the idea that I had romantic feelings for her. There was now a love triangle in her head that didn't actually exist. I started to get really tired of the insinuations that I somehow fancied Pinkies. She was still pleasant to play with and talk to, so I stuck around since her feelings were rarely the subject of our conversation in those days, but it continued for weeks after I had learned of it. Until the other one day. I logged in to find that all three of them had removed me from Steam. Starlight, Gazina, Pinkies, all gone. Only Pinkies remained on my battle swag. To put it lightly, I was distraught. Confused, of course. The feels bad, man. Not the Steam. I've lost the Steam. How do you even know if you've lost the Steam friend? I don't even know. I have no idea. Anyway, let's get back to feels bad, man. Why had they just suddenly gone? Why had they gone AWOL on me? I messaged my only remaining contact from the guild on Steam and asked him if he still had Starlight at least, so I could ask her what had happened. A bit of deliberation, negotiation, and third-party contact occurred, and eventually I spoke to a very reluctant Starlight. She told me that she had removed me and removed others because she did not want to be associated with the drama and the guild after finding out about Pinkies. Finding out what about her, I asked. It turned out that Starlight had done some research for the potential clit rubbing that was coming for her. She put the profile image in from WhatsApp of Pinky into the Google machine and had found a modelling website. Pinkies was not a girl. Pinkies did not want to rub clits. Pinky was a guy. Gazina and Starlight had fled, wanting to put it all behind them because honestly Starlight was starting to have feelings for Pinkies, and I couldn't blame them. For me though, I still had Pinkies on Battle.net. He was online. So I heroic leaped onto that bastard. I pulled out my white shield, my white sword, and my white armor, and asked him what the fuck he thought he was doing, mirroring my confrontation with Variety earlier. I got no reply from Pinkies. Disgusted, I removed him and then decided it was time. I left the WhatsApp group. Brave motherfucker. It was time to put that WhatsApp group behind me. Here marks the end of those involvements in the drama. It now just boils down to Bubbles and I. The morning after I left the WhatsApp group, Bubbles messaged me on WhatsApp. She asked what on earth had happened. The guild had disbanded. She had no idea of the events that had transpired. I brought Bubbles up to speed. She was disappointed, to say the least. She had only wanted a place to hang out and chill, be friendly, do some battlegrounds occasionally. Due to all the drama in her previous guilds, she just wanted peace, somewhere to lay low, but she did not want to be guildless. We talked and talked and talked some more. We talked far more than I thought we would. After all, she was a guildmate I had exchanged little more than a few words with before. But here we are, me and Bubbles, talking extensively about what had gone down, about WoW, about other things, eventually drifting to us as people in the real world. We began to stay up into the nights in our chats, talking as late as 4 a.m. before we finally called it a night. She was English too, like me. There was no time zone conflict or long distance to make it difficult. We frequently used voice messages, and I was pleasantly surprised when she told me that she liked my cracking pubescent voice. And she described it as melting hot caramel in her ear. Something that has to be kept in mind about our relationship is that things progressed real quick. All of this only took a few weeks because we talked often and deeply. And like this. It was late one night around 2 a.m. We had been talking for roughly 3 hours, and she eventually asked me, "Are you attracted to me?" Such undisguised, open questions were fairly common from her, and I liked it. Since I was not one for beating around the bush either, I replied, "Yes." "Are you attracted to me?" Such undisguised, open questions were fairly common from her, and I liked it. Since I was not one for beating around the bush either, I replied, "Yes." I asked the same of her, and she replied, Yes, I am." We said goodnight to one another, and so our relationship began. I was somewhat surprised, to be honest. There was a considerable age gap between us. I was 17 and she was 21. Huge. I in college and she in university. But we agreed that age doesn't matter, not when it's love. That it was just a number and that it was the content of what was said that mattered. Besides, she said, she had not known my age. She would have thought I was in my 20s. Our relationship, however, was not without faults. No, audience. We argued regularly due to the differing ideas and opinions. I can barely remember the specifics of them, but they always started over the most minor and trivial of things that escalated far beyond what it should have. For example, I recall that she wanted me to change my WhatsApp profile to be a little bit more vibrant, at least having a picture like hers did. I didn't want to change my WhatsApp picture, and an argument blazed about how I was obstinate and stubborn about WhatsApp, and she was being absurd and picky, and it resulted in giving each other the silent treatment for at least 2 days. But we made up as often as we argued, and so our more tender and happy moments were as frequent as the bad. As our relationship progressed, we were having less and less arguments and more happy conversation. So much joy. Throughout all of it, though, Bubbles did some really strange things. I should have learnt my lesson from Pinkies, but I did not. Bubbles would frequently send me fairly intimate pictures of what was supposedly her lingerie and her body, right up to sending me a fully fledged picture of what was supposedly her vagina. Right at the beginning when she started doing this, she told me never to share this vagina picture with anyone. I was genuinely uncomfortable with her doing this much, especially since we hadn't even talked for very long, and I hadn't sent her a dick pic yet. One crucial thing, though, that I never picked up on, her face was never fully visible in these pictures. It was visible in her profile pictures, but never in the sent pictures. Technically, I knew what she looked like, but at the same time, I didn't. For what she sent would be later also to be found false. It was coming close to the end of August and the beginning of the educational term when it happened. Bubbles was to go back off to university, and she said that she could not talk to me nearly as much. Sundays would likely be the only day, and even then it would be rare. Begrudgingly, I accepted that this would have to be, but I was becoming more and more suspicious. I had noticed certain discrepancies in the pictures sent to me and her profile pictures. Being the ignorant doofus I was, I forgot about Google search until my friend had told me about what was happening. I linked him the pictures, and he agreed that there was problems. Certain things were different. Also, only a male would notice while staring at a naked human body. He linked me the famed image search. I plugged the pictures in with a thumping heart, desperate for no results. For her profile pictures, none. But then I plugged in the lingerie pictures, the nudie pictures. My face fell. There were results from a Russian porn star website. I was fuming. I immediately leapt onto the WhatsApp to talk to her. Take it to the WhatsApp. I asked her what the hell she thought she was doing. My apparent favourite line over the past few events. Credit where it's due. She didn't make any attempt to deny it. She in fact said, and I directly quote, I was wondering how long it would take you. I asked her why on earth she had lied to me, and she said that it was a test. A trial of sorts, to see whether I would betray her trust and share the pictures with anyone else. And that if I never did, then only then would she consider meeting in real life. In retrospect, this is still the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard of. The couple of friends I told about the incident immediately afterwards told me she sounded like a fucking idiot. But at the time, of course, I was too angry. I popped avenging wrath. I had sent her a picture of me too, a simple selfie of my face, no dick, more than she had ever done in her fake body photos, and I told her that I had no idea what she looked like. That I could not believe how selfish, deluded, and abrasive she was. In response, she said that my true colours had been revealed by looking up the pictures, that she knew now of me for what I really was, thinking that all our previous contacts had meant nothing to her. I made the decision. I deleted her from WhatsApp. We didn't speak again for another month or so. She managed to get hold of me, and I was rather surprised that she hadn't yet deleted my details. If I was as detestable in her eyes as she had made it seem, I messaged her, but her response was final, cold, and clear. Just go away. I obliged. I deleted all traces of her from everything I had. I still kept the nudie pictures to remind me of the good times that we did have together. For there were some I liked, as overshadowed as how false they were. I have since moved on from her, and am now a little older and a lot wiser. I still play WoW on the same character that was involved in the guild drama to begin with, but I have never run into any of the characters involved in this story since. I doubt I ever will again. Now as a loner, I spend my time doing transmog mount achievement runs, gearing up to find a decent guild in Legion when it rolls around. With my experienced mind, I aim to avoid all drama in the future. But I have a sneaking suspicion. Drama will find me. Woo! Woo! Yeah, me too. He didn't have a good run of it there. Ladies and gentlemen, I have to disappear. That does bring us to the end of today's Drama Friday. Hey, mate. You're not supposed to listen to those stories. Girls aren't trustworthy, mate.
Show them his t-shirt.
No, baby on Drama Friday. Just a bit of bants, that's all it was. Just a bit of bants. So much cringe. No magic show. Will you do a magic show for the ladies and gentlemen? Come on then.
Look at James's t-shirt.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm off to pick up the other boy and have some good old fun. Alright, have a great weekend, guys. I'll see you soon. And I'll see Mr. Ghosty tonight. Bye-bye.